On Tuesday night, Nick Cannon appeared as a guest on Corey Holcomb 5150 show, where the conversation focused on Nick's comments last summer. If you remember, Professor Griff appeared as a guest on Nick's podcast, Cannon's Class. The comments would receive criticism from many and even led to Nick getting fired from Viacom CBS and the cancellation of Wildin' Out. Cannon's appearance on Holcomb's show would be one of the first times we've heard him speak openly about his apology since the announcement that Wildin' Out will be returning with new episodes airing this April. In the conversation, Corey represented those who felt Nick was right and questioned why he apologized, while Nick explained his stance on the incident and would respond to those who called him a sellout. Today we have our Comedy Hype analyst, Pierre, calling to the show to talk about Nick's position.
You can't allow another energy to get me to talk derogatory and negative. I stand by principles. So I don't care if it's somebody in the comments. I don't care if it's a racist next door. You're not going to get me to act out of pocket unless I'll choose to act out of pocket. I'm not going to call somebody else another name, or I got called all kind of names because of the way that I handled the situation, because I'm trying to be a better man. I'm not intimidated by anybody. Ain't no job. I think I made all the money I could ever want to make. Mm-hmm. But even at this point, when I get to a space where I know I can open that door, I can help other individuals, I could build schools, I could go back and feed communities, why would I allow some anger towards some people who technically ain't did shit to me directly?
Long as this man got good intentions by us. I wouldn't say it if I didn't believe that. So he has to do things to maneuver through. Like when Nick Cannon leave here, Nick Cannon has to go amongst the real savage mother and have conversations with them like he don't hate them and want to blow their brains out.
Now, Pierre, I know we've touched on this a little bit, but what are your reactions to that?
Wow. I like the fact that Nick went on Corey's show, because they definitely two different energies, on that show, on that particular clip right there. I understand where Nick is coming from, and I understand what other people who don't like what Nick did. But you have to be in his shoes. I don't like folks who aren't in people's shoes start telling people how to live their lives. You just can't do that. Nick has a bigger platform and his tentacles reach more people, that he can help the urban community better. But by just going out lambasting Jews or whoever it is, and it's going to mess that money up that can help other people, you got to be very careful with that.
And one of the things you mentioned and Nick talked about was his method, of the reason why he apologized. He wants to progress our people and, move our people forward. Do you feel his way, of apologizing was the only way to move our people forward? Well,
one thing, he didn't apologize for what he said. He apologized if he hurt somebody. So he still believes what he said, which I can respect if that's what he feels. He was just basically saying, I apologize if it hurt you, but what I said is still what I believe in, which is, which he has every right to. But as far as progressing us as a people, if he's in a position that can help and, help, I don't understand why, we don't decide to use, why don't we pimp the people who've been pimping us? I always believe in that. I don't believe in turning the back for the guy who, if you've been making money off me, it's my turn to start making money off of you. And if you got the money and the power and I can use it to elevate my people, why not?
So what do you say to people who feel like, if Nick should have doubled down on what he said and stood firm in what he said, and that would have elevated our people to reach a new height of, the mentality of knowing who we are and where we come from? What do you say to those people?
And we can't get two niggas in the same room to agree, okay? You're talking about a whole bunch of people. We don't even support each other. And for those people who say he shouldn't have doubled down, again, if you don't wear his shoes, if you're not in a position of power, shut it up. All that talking and yapping, what you would do if you was in his position, wait till you get to his position, and then let me see. Because things start changing when you're in a different position. Right now, when you're in the bottom yelling up, I wouldn't do that. Yeah, of course you wouldn't do that now. Because you're in a position, you don't know, you're not in a circumstance, you don't have the same responsibilities. But when you're in his position, then I need to hear. Now, if someone came out that was in his position of power and said that, it'd be more, I'd believe it more, or I'd understand it more. But when people down the bottom start talking about what I wouldn't do, I would have done all that. Well, yeah, you wouldn't, Nick, but you go to that same job, slaving at that same job, and that white man runs that business, telling you what to do, what time to go, and you're in fear of losing your job, but you're going to tell a man who owns a company and businesses what to do and what he should do? You're crazy as all hell. And to talk about black folks coming together, it's hard. We're doing a little bit better now, but it's hard to get us to get together in one room and agree about something. So why should he risk all that to try to hopefully black folks come together and support? Sometimes we don't even support our own businesses. And you tell this man to get rid of all that money and all that position he's in to help us, to uplift this community and say no to that money because us in this community will come together. Yeah, man, you out your rabbit ass mind.
So I want to bring something up because I think it looks like, because, you had Monique who kind of stepped away from the system or, playing the game, if you will, and took a stance and said, let's boycott, she wanted to boycott Netflix, but essentially move our people out of that. But then you have Nick Cannon, who's kind of, some people may perceive as playing the game and, going through the, route of apology. So which do you feel like it's best for our people to, step away and make that stance like Monique did? Or do you think, looking at Nick Cannon, that's more of the route to go when we find ourselves in this situation?
Now, I love Monique and I love Nick Cannon, but look at the position they in. Does Monique have the same power as Nick Cannon now? Is she in a position now to do big things compared to what Nick Cannon do? Nick Cannon can? Nick Cannon is in a bigger position than Monique. Monique was at a certain level. We haven't heard much from Monique. I love her. I don't know what she's doing. I don't know where her power is anymore. Had she maybe done, played the game a little differently, she might be in a position like a Tiffany Haddish to do shows, to bring other people and, sitcoms and other movies and get people working again. I never know. We never know. But with Nick apologizing for what he did, like he said, what he made people feel, not necessarily what the message was, but how he made people feel. And now he's moving and grooving with certain situations and businesses, and he's bringing that, what's the show? Wild 'N Out back. That's employing a lot of people. I mean, you tell me what move made more sense. What really made more sense at the end of the day? Because where's Monique's power compared to Nick Cannon's power? Where's the power at? I think Nick Cannon got more power than Monique does.
But do you think Nick Cannon's route is essentially validating that, they're superior to us? We bow down to you, because you have a lot of people that feel like Corey and maybe even more to the extreme side. So, what are your thoughts on that?
I don't think we as a race are at a place now that we believe in ourselves in totality. A lot of us still don't. We still believe that the white man runs everything. And while we're believing that, and you have the power to get the money from the quote unquote white man or people in positions to help your people, why not? Why should Nick Cannon not use what he can? We might want to call it that he's the master, the white boy's the master. Well, you know what? If you support Nick Cannon and support his businesses, and he becomes more and more powerful, he's going to get in a position where he won't need none. We have our own networks and our own situations. But right now, we're not at that level, that higher level. If you want to be on the big team, on the big scale, sometimes you got to roll with some of the people. And if you feel like apologizing is a negative thing, is such a horrible thing, maybe you might not know the big plan. And that's what he said. There's a big picture. There's a bigger picture. And if you want to think he's a sellout for doing that, by all means. But I wonder what you're doing at your job and what you're doing, what position you're in that's calling him a sellout.
Right. Well, I definitely wish the best for, both Monique and the stance that she took, as well as Nick Cannon. And we know Wild 'N Out will be airing with new episodes this month. So you heard from us. Now we want to hear from you in the comments below. What are your thoughts on Nick's position? For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson.
Put it in the comments.
Do you know the comedy culture? Play Comedy Hype, the game. Out now.